that we have friends, that we have the people who love us around us, and or one of the most important things that they can do for us is give us advice. Now, I'm not talking about like, Ann Landers' advice, like you should do this or you should do that, but sometimes, you ask somebody in your life, a buddy, your parent, your sibling, or whomever, you ask them, do you think that this is a good idea or a bad idea, right? It's perfectly normal to ask the people around you whether the things that you're planning to do are smart or stupid. It's perfectly normal, right? Except when you ask women. You should never ask advice from the women in your life. Never. Never ask them for advice. I'm talking about the women in your life. The women in your life with whom you have an emotional connection. I'm not talking about your woman. I'm not talking about your romantic partner. It could be your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your whomever. Okay? No, I'm not talking about the romance part. I'm talking about women in general. They will always give you bad advice. Or let me phrase that. No, that's not true. It's not that they'll give you bad advice. I'm talking out of my ass. What it is, see, they will not tell you the hard truth the way a man will. Okay? Now let me explain. See, a few years ago, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that, I had this idea, a business idea. And I thought it was a terrific idea. And I wrote some notes about it and sort of like thought it over and chewed it over. And it seemed, on the money. It seemed like a great idea. And so I tested it out with this friend of mine, a woman who's very close to me. She was not a romantic partner. She was just a friend, okay? But a friend I'd known for many, many years. And I, pitched her the idea. And I remember very clearly, we were sitting in my kitchen. And, I have like a little round table kind of thing. And, with a curved bench. And we were sitting there next to each other. And we were both smoking cigarettes and talking about it. Now, this friend, I'd known her since college. I knew her real well. And I told her my idea, and I trusted her judgments. That's why I was telling her this idea. I was telling her this business idea, and I went on and on about it. I pitched it to her, and she thought it was great. She thought it was a brilliant idea, and she thought that I would be very successful, and she egged me on, right? It was great. I felt like there was this, the wind in my sails, right? I felt terrific about it. And then a couple of days later, I wound up talking to another friend, but a guy. And now this man, this guy I was talking to, now this guy was a man with whom I had done business deals before. I'd done different projects that had made us both a lot of money, and ideas that I had generated the original idea for, or I'd added the crucial idea, the crucial concept that had made it a money-making venture. I mean, he and I knew each other real well and trusted one another. And when I pitched him this idea, he wanted it to be a good idea because other ideas I had made us both some money. So, this guy wasn't trying to shit all over my parade. You see what I'm saying? So I pitched him the idea. And he listened to me. He listened to me for a good 10, 15 minutes as I pitched it to him. And at the end he said, yeah, but I don't think it's going to work, he said. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I'd spoken to my other friend, this woman who was my close friend, and she had thought it was a wonderful idea. I talked to her about it. So I asked this guy friend, I asked him, well, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a great idea. And he said, no, well, it's good, it's clever, it's got some points, but. And then he enumerated the flaws, just like that. This, that, and the other. And they were all valid points. And they were, in point of fact, really difficult problems to overcome in order to make this idea a viable idea. I went home, tail between my legs, because this conversation, we had it in his office, right? And I felt kind of humiliated. I felt, I'd wasted my buddy's time, and just made a little bit of a fool of myself, right? And I was feeling a little bit down in the dumps. And I walked home, because this wasn't far from where I lived, as a matter of fact. I didn't go by car. And I walked home, and as I'm walking home, I'm thinking about it. And to tell you the truth, I've always thought better when I'm walking for some reason. I'm walking home, and I start to think about the two conversations. And I realized that the woman, her name was Susan. Susan had wanted my idea to work, and she had wanted it so badly, and she wanted to make me happy that she thought it was a good idea, you know? And she went against her own best judgment in order to give me emotional support. The fact of the matter is, she'd been very successful at it because, you know, after I told her the idea, I had been just like a sailing ship with full sails. I mean, I'd felt just on top of the world. I thought, man, I got the tiger by the balls. I got the winning lottery ticket. I got it all. I got it made, right? And I talked to my buddy, and he's like, no, not really, you know? And he wasn't wrong. That's the point. Whereas Susan, her objective hadn't been to really analyze my idea. Her objective had been to make a strong emotional connection between the two of us. I talk about how you can never trust what women say. You can only trust what women do. I did right here, right? Now, that's very true because you see, how women use language is to smooth away social friction. That's what I said in that video. And see, that's why you cannot take advice from the women in your life. Because the women in your life, what is their objective? Their objective is to bring you all closer together as a unit. And it's not just romantic partners. It's your mother, your sister, your daughter. The whole thing is to bring a closer, tighter social interaction. That's their goal. So you tell them an idea that you're enthusiastic about, or you ask them about a problem, and they're going to reflect what they think you want to hear. They're not going to give you the cold, hard truth. They're not going to give you advice that really matters. Now, notice, of course, I'm saying the women in your life. I'm not talking about all women. No. Because the women you meet out in the world, they're strangers to you, right? Now, you talk to a lawyer, a female lawyer, and she's going to give you great advice. No question. It has nothing to do with their sex. It has everything to do with their position in your life. Your close male friend will tell you the truth because for him, it's more important to tell you the truth than to, tell a pretty lie that will make you happy. See? But for a woman in your life, it's more important to make you happy than to tell you the truth. And that's why she'll tell you, you're wearing a horrible suit, and she'll say that you look great. Because she wants to make you happy. A woman outside of your life, a lawyer that you hire, a doctor, a female doctor, of course, she will tell you the truth. She'll give you good advice, of course, because she'll be presumably very smart if she's a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, and she'll tell you the truth, right? A woman who has no emotional attachment to you, who has no emotional connection to you, she'll tell you the truth. Just like any other man, any person, anybody you meet, they will tell you the truth. It's the women in your life. They're the ones who are going to, quote unquote, lie to you. And remember, it's not that they're lying to you. They don't mean you any harm. But what happens is that, see, they don't want your feelings hurt. See? That's why the women in your life will say, just act natural, just be yourself. They'll say that, which is bullshit, of course. The women in your life, the people who love you, women who adore you, you are the most important person in their life, they will tell you all kinds of lies because they don't want to hurt your feelings. You see what I mean? They will not want to tell you the truth because they will think that if they tell you the truth, you'll be hurt. Whereas your friends, your guy friends, your true friends, insofar as men are concerned, they will tell you the truth. They'll flat out say, no, that's a horrible idea. Don't do it, right? And so that's why you should never follow the advice of the women in your life, but you should look for those guys in your life who will tell you the truth. Because, of course, you need friends to get through life because your friends are the only ones who will tell you when something you are doing is a bad idea. You see what I'm saying? See, guys who don't give a shit about you or guys who are trying to curry favor with you, they'll lie. They'll say whatever the fuck to keep you happy and, Your true friends, the guys you really will appreciate, those true friends will tell you the truth, and they'll say that an idea you have is a terrible idea and that you shouldn't do it. See? It's those dick suckers, those guys who want something from you, or guys who are indifferent to you. They'll lie, right? It's kind of weird if you look at it. If you look at it as a matrix, right? The guys who are closest to you will tell you the truth. The women who are not involved with your life will tell you the truth. Whereas guys who want something from you or are indifferent to you will lie. And the women closest to you will also lie. But you have to understand why. It's important. Because you see, the most important thing in a woman's life is to have a strong social bond, social connection with the people in her life. That's the thing that's most important to her. Whereas with guys, especially friends, what they most want is for you to succeed. And that's why the guys in your life will tell you the truth, but the women in your life will always lie in order to keep you happy.